High Velocity Wrestling is a professional wrestling promotion based in Western North Carolina. HVW's events provide a family atmosphere featuring old school pro wrestling with a modern day flair, giving a little something for everyone.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the HVW Podcast, the official podcast for High Velocity Wrestling. I'm your host, Tom Clark, and we're here to give you the latest news and rumors surrounding HVW, including updates on upcoming events and much more. Remember to follow us on all of our social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Their links are available in the episode's description. What's up, kids? Welcome back to the HVW official High Velocity Wrestling Podcast. I'm the director of social media for HVW, Tom Clark. What's up? How's everybody doing to you? Happy Tuesday to you. I know it's Tuesday. You want to know why? Because I know it's not Wednesday. That doesn't mean anything to anybody here. It means something to me. So anyway, hope you guys are doing great. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. We are fastly approaching hump day. Before we take this thing live tonight, we want to send a quick shout out. And when I bring Gary on, we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth. Quick shout out to James Drake, who tomorrow night will be plying his craft live on national television against TNT champion Darby Allin. You guys have got to tune in to AEW Dynamite tomorrow night. We don't shill too much for other companies. I will shill all day long for AEW because JD Drake is going to be in the house tomorrow night on Dynamite. And we will get into that in short order as soon as we get moving here tonight. Let's get some banners up. And then we'll bring Gary on and we'll start saying some hellos to anybody watching. If you will, please hit that like button, the thumbs up, the heart, whatever you got in front of you. If you would do that for us, we would greatly appreciate it. We've got some news and notes tonight on Proving Ground coming up on June 5th. Where am I? There I is, kids. All right. So let's bring on HVW owner and promoter, Mr. Gary Benfield. Gary, what's up, my friend? How are you this fine evening?
What up, Tom? What's going on, man? Just heard you talking about Drake. Super excited for him. Super excited for the return of HVW. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yes, sir. I think we're rolling right along, man. Hope everybody out there is doing good. Gary, good to see you as always.
Yes, sir.
So I know we got lots of stuff to talk about tonight, lots of stuff to talk about with the upcoming Proving Ground event. There we are. Took a couple of clicks, but we made it, kids. So let's remind the good people before we get too deep in the weeds tonight. And first, let's say hello. There you go. Miss Hayden Ramsey is going to be in attendance tomorrow night at Dynamite to see JD Drake. Very awesome.
Yes.
Hayden, do me a favor. If you will, give James Drake our best. Tell him the HVW is pulling for him, and that's no joke.
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Very good stuff. By the way, in case everybody's been sleeping under a rock for the past few weeks, Hayden Ramsey is wrestling her return match for High Velocity Wrestling on June 5th. In which match, Gary, are we talking about?
In the main event.
The main event.
That's
right. There can be only one. Despite what the big company says, there's only one main event, and that's the one that goes on last, okay?
That's
Hayden
right.
Ramsey's going to be in that match with two other ladies. I'm just going to let you tell everybody, what are we talking about here?
Man, we're talking about the first ever HVW Women's Champion. It's going to be Hayden Ramsey taking on Caitlin Marie, taking on Sadie Lee Moss. Triple threat. Man, I'm excited, Tom. How about you?
Oh, man, I'm pumped up. I can't wait. When we first started talking about this, I don't know which one of us said it first. I can't even remember. But it's like they have to be the main event. Maybe I said
absolutely.
it, and you were like, no, I've already been thinking it. So it's like we were already, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, and listen, but let's start this thing off with a little bit of a personal anecdote from you, if we could. When you talk about what the main event means, not just for a woman on the card, but what's the main event mean, period? What should it mean to a talent in a locker room getting to go on last any particular night, any given show during the week? What are we talking about here? What's it mean?
Well, brother, for me personally, when I wrestled, if I made it to the main event, not trying to sound arrogant or anything, but I get, in my eyes, the promoter thought that my match was worth putting on last, to build up to that. And when the fans left, the last thing they was going to remember was my match or what happened in my match. And that's the way any wrestler should. If you're in the main event, when the fans leave that night, 9 out of 10 times, the last impression in their head is what they're going to talk about the next day. If you're main eventing, your goal should be to leave the fans with great talk about not only the company, but as well your match.
And, coming from somebody who's been to a lot of shows and been involved with some wrestling over the years, you're right. The thing that sticks out to me hours after the fact, the thing that me and my son are still talking about on the car ride home and the next day is, man, that last match. Oh my God. Like it does.
Yeah, it does
leave a lasting impact.
Absolutely, man. And I may be completely wrong, but looking at it as a promoter, in my opinion, the first match is just as important as the last match. So
I agree with that. Setting the tone.
Absolutely.
Setting the tone. Hayden said she's ready.
I know she is.
Hayden, I don't know if you're still hanging out with us. I'll tell you on a personal note, Hayden, folks, we have been transparent from day one. Gary will tell you, Hayden was not always the nicest person to get along with backstage. No. If she bumped into you, you felt it for a day or two because she's all power, man. But ever since the injury and she's come back, she reached out to us first. And I've told this story about how she reached out to us and said, I want Caitlin. I don't care where. I don't care when. As soon as I'm ready, I want her.
That's what she said. And she said, I want to do it in an HVW ring because that's where she attacked me, was at an HVW show. So, hey, we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
And she's been a lot more easy to get along with now. I'm not going to say she's a pushover. I would never call her that because I don't want to get pushed over, okay? But I will tell you that she's I think she's come around a little bit. She's a little bit easier to work with, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that makes life easy for you. I know it makes life easy for me. And, talents don't have to like us or like me. I guess it's fine. But, when they're more privy to work along with you, it makes life a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
She said, yes, sir. Let's get it. Absolutely. I love that
Tom,
attitude.
Brother, I tell you, man, I mean, it's Hayden's made some choices in her life that has put her in a situation that's gave her some opportunities. And I really see big things happening for this young lady, man. I think we'll see her on TV within the next 3 years.
Oh, I think it'll be a lot sooner than that. I think she's on an upward trajectory. And just like with JD Drake, Hayden, we're pulling for you as well.
Absolutely.
And, and Gary, I know you've probably worked for promoters and seen promoters before who don't want to let go of their talent. But, if the next stepping stone is bigger and better and means your dreams are starting to come true, man, I love to see somebody get the brass ring. I love it.
Absolutely, man. Just, give us a little rub if it happens, when the time comes and you get to talk about your past and where you honed your craft. Give us a little rub. Throw us out there, man. Let us get some looks at too,
Let's see. We've got some folks showing up before we get too deep in the card here. Larry Bell shows up. What's up, Larry? How are you this evening?
What up, Larry?
Sugar Shane Odom in the house. How you doing, my friend?
Shane.
John Matthews is in the house. Everybody say hello to John.
Hey, this young man's on the card June 5th too as well, Tom, looking for a little revenge against Mr. Elijah Proctor.
That's going to be something to see. Speaking of someone who's on the card, Mr. Jake Jacobs, the superior Jake Jacobs is here.
Mook says he ain't superior. I seen that this morning.
Let me tell you something. If you call yourself superior, brother, you have full confidence in your abilities, and I appreciate that, and I fully respect it.
Hey, I completely agree, and I let Mook know that don't underestimate this young man.
No, don't sleep on Jake Jacobs, kids. You'll be doing so to your own dismay. Speaking of the podcast, which we're doing here tonight, folks, we've had several HVW stars on the podcast in the past year or so, and we're going to get back on that track sooner rather than later. So we'll be reaching out to some of the HVW talent en route to Proving Ground and hopefully get some of the HVW stars back on the show here. Julie says, hey there. Hello there to Julie. There you go. Thanks to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Before we say any more hellos or do any other stuff to kind of move the show along here, we have got to go ahead and get into why we're here tonight. We're here tonight to provide some news and notes on HVW Proving Ground. We got a promo to show. We've got a video to show tonight. That'll be fun. We're going to take a look back at, speaking of the aforementioned Hayden Ramsey. We got to let you folks know right up front, HVW Proving Ground tickets are on sale right now at eventbrite.com. You can go to eventbrite.com and do a search if you want to. Look up High Velocity Wrestling on eventbrite.com. If you'd rather not do that, the links to the website are all over our social media. And if you just want to go the route of typing stuff in yourself, you can go to tinyurl.com/HVWPGTIX. Okay? That's High Velocity Wrestling Proving Ground tickets. It's very simple. I made a tiny URL so it's real easy to get to instead of a sequence and a name and like 43 numbers out across from it. That's hard. So we made it as easy as possible. Tickets are on sale now. They're selling. So be sure that you get your tickets. We can't say this enough times, Gary. How can they get their tickets and where? And can they get them at the door? Let's remind everybody of that.
No ticket sales at the door at this time, unless restrictions are lifted before June the 5th. At this moment, you can only buy tickets from Eventbrite. So go on the HVW Facebook page. There's a link to the Eventbrite. Go on Eventbrite, search for HVW, High Velocity Wrestling. Get your tickets.
Get your tickets because they are selling, and we want to be sure that we get everybody there that we possibly can. We got 100 chairs to put butts in, okay? So we need 100 butts there to put in 100 chairs, okay? So be sure you get your tickets, folks. And if your favorite wrestler is on this card, you do not want to miss, because I'll tell you this. And I'm not saying that when these talents work in other places for other companies or whatnot, that they're not doing their best. I know they are. But it seems as though every time we put an event together, these talents step it up like nobody's business. So if you want to see the best in the Carolinas, you've got to come to Proving Ground. And that's the truth. Let's kick off the show, Gary, and we're going to go one by one here. Let's talk about the tag team title match. Talk about these teams, what they bring to the table, and let's lay the match out for the good people here this evening.
Well, man, I'll tell you something. It's the foundation showed up at the training center last week and took one of the trainees and put him in the trash can. They said they showing up on June the 5th and they taking the trash out, And I'm telling you something. I stepped back out the way because Big Money and Travis Roberts, they looked like they was a little hungry, Tom. I didn't want to get put in the trash I had to go get the trainee out the trash can.
That's good stuff. We'll be putting that video up here shortly, folks, that way everybody can see what Gary's talking about.
I'm gonna be and NAV's got who.
Yeah, he's not hanging out with us tonight. Isn't that a shame?
Yeah. Thank you. And I tell you, Cam Jackson and Kay Omari, they excited, man. I've been speaking with those guys this week. They super excited to come in, and I told them, I said, fellas, look, the HVW fan base don't really know you. There's no other way to get them to know you is to come in and win those titles. Debut in HVW and win the titles in the same night. So bring it.
Yeah, there is such a thing as hitting it big, striking it rich on the first night out. It happens all the time, and sometimes it's out of the blue. The team that or the wrestler or whoever that everybody least expects to win actually ends up winning the gold that night. So don't think it can't happen, kids. It can totally happen here.
Hey man, and with the White Claw Outlaws as well.
Tell me about this team. You're more familiar with these two than I am. Who are we talking about here?
Man, these guys, I picked them up. I seen them work wrestling at School of Morton in Tennessee, and I thought, man, these cats they all right, But I tell you, they ain't no joke to play with. I've only seen a couple of their matches and a couple of promos they've done, but I'm excited about having them in HVW. That's for sure.
We're excited to see them. I'm sure it's going to be a very memorable match. And this is how we're kicking off the show, kids. We're kicking it off with a title match. So you're going to get your money's worth on the first match in. I mean, that's saying something right there.
Hey,
So
Tom, let me throw this out there too, brother. I mean, it's the foundation is an HVW original tag team. NAV was definitely a part of our return in 2020. 1776. I'm not sure where these guys stand right now, but if they're out there and they're listening and they're watching, hey, HVW wants you back. Get yourselves together. Let us know, because you got a score to settle with NAV. That's for sure.
yeah, and a year ago, it's amazing what happens. It's almost like 2020 was yesterday, and it's almost like it was 2 years ago now.
I know.
I mean, we've moved so far ahead of where we were, thank God, a year ago. But yeah, you're right, man. Like the HVW Tag Team division was built between two teams, actually, from the ground up, and now we're back to no 1776. Darren Remington, Nick Nitro are going to be missed. They're already missed, and yeah, I look forward to the day if those two guys put it back together. We'd love to have them back, of course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For sure.
We got a visitor.
Oh, did he show up? I'm not on the comment section.
Not that visitor. We got Mooks in the house.
I see. Everyone tell Mook hello. Mookie and I have yet to meet, sir. I'm Tom. What's up? Thanks for hanging out, man. Listen, since Mook's here, I wasn't going to do this right now, but let's go. We'll come back to John and Elijah. Let's go ahead and talk about this match right here, because Mook's in the house. And Jake, I don't know if you're still here or not, brother, but your opponent is. This looks to me like a contrast of styles, a contrast of personalities. On one hand, you've got Mook, and I've seen some of Mook's work on some of his promos, and man, he is very creative, very theatrical kind of cat. Jake is all intensity. I mean, this is going to be quite the pairing on June 5th, man. Talk about this match.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something. You know, Jake Jacobs is me and you was on fire for this kid when we relaunched last year.
Yes.
And then, seeing some of the shows from School of Morton and from a local fed that I've become friends with the owner, Urban Combat. I've seen some of Mook's work, and I thought, man, we got to get Mook in the HVW. And when we knew we had a date scheduled, June 5th, I reached out to Mook, and he was available. And I thought, man, if he's going to debut, there's no other person for him to debut against than Jake Jacobs. So, let's do it. And I reached out to Jake. Jake was available. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, and dude, Jake signs a contract before he even knows who he's wrestling, because he's all about moving ahead. He's all about getting the experience. He's all about getting better and showing what he can do in the ring. So we've got the first promo out the gate, the first official promo out the gate concerning a specific match has been delivered to us here at HVW. And Mook, my man, we're going to play this for you right now. Kids, if you've not met Mook, here is Mook talking about his upcoming Proving Ground match against Jake Jacobs. Everybody check this out.
Saturday, June 5th, Mook the BTSG makes his high velocity wrestling debut. And trust, it's an event you don't want to miss. So let me put the word out for my opponent, Jake Jacobs. You see, I'm in the business of making heads roll. And business is booming. So trust when I tell you, boy, you're not ready for what you got coming towards you. I watched the videos. You're all right. But superior, you are not. So get ready, my guy. Because it ain't personal. It's just business.
That's the first version right there, kids. That's good stuff.
Hey, that Joker's on point. He means business. Jake Jacobs. Yes, Jake says something.
Jake says, doesn't matter. First victim of many victims to come in HVW. There you go. Good stuff. Jake's got something to say, man. He's ready to step up. So I'm anxious to hear what he has to say.
I seen him comment earlier that he would be addressing the HVW fan base.
Nice.
So I guess he's got something coming for us.
Sparks are flying here on the pod tonight, kids.
Mook said,
Mook is not impressed.
not at all.
Not impressed.
He said, superior you are not, is what Mook says.
That's right. Yeah, man, this is two of the best young talents who are applying their craft, wanting to get better, wanting to show what they can do. We're all about providing opportunities, and that's what we want to do here in HVW. So we see a talent that wants an opportunity, and we can be a platform for that talent. That's what we want to do. So I'm looking forward to this, man. It's going to be good. Dude, this match could steal the show. I'm not going to lie. This is good stuff.
Everybody that step up, because these guys right here is going to bring it. I promise you.
Oh, no doubt about it. Let me flip back to the second match on the card, because this is actually, if we go in order as we've talked about, this actually be third match. Let's talk about second match on the card. Let's go back to John Matthews versus Elijah Proctor. I've unofficially dubbed this a grudge match, which we might be well served to officially call this thing a grudge match, because, man, this thing could end up through the crowd, through the locker room, on the floor, through the parking lot. I don't know, dude. This is something else.
All I know is Mr. Matthews is fired up, and he's looking to get some revenge on Elijah Proctor and I Am Righteous.
It's going to be good stuff. This stems back from First Strike, February 29th, 2020, kids. A situation where Righteous had bought John Matthews' contract for that night and ended up teaming him with his guy Elijah Proctor against 1776. The thing is that John is friends with both Darren and Nick, and he wasn't having it. So when he got pushed a little too far, he pushed back, and that caused Team Righteous to lose the match. So they've got a score to settle, but John does also. John doesn't want or need help, Gary. He's made that clear to us from the beginning.
Right. But you know how I Am Righteous is. So, it's going to be 2-on-1, so John needs to be prepared. And just remember what me and you talked about, Mr. Matthews.
And honestly, man, he might need someone watching his back that night. That might be something we have to address. It says I have unfinished business with Elijah Proctor. Yes, sir. That's going to be good. Another match that's going to, I think, deliver. And I think it's going to be one that impresses for sure. Let's go ahead and mention right now, Gary, because these three matches, there's a stipulation involved with all three matches, even the tag match. What lies ahead for the winner/winners of all three of these matches? What lies ahead for them?
Well, it's real simple. If you win, you're in. And by that, if you win your match, you're in the HVW Championship Battle Royal. So, actually, whoever walks away with the tag team titles could actually walk away with an HVW title as well.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That could be something to see, man. We could see a double champion crown that night. That's, again, you think the word gimmick is thrown around a lot in our industry, right? But the fact is that you can call it whatever you want to. This kind of thing has happened before in other companies. It's not like this is just something to put on paper and make people, wink and nudge somebody. No, this could be the real thing. Somebody could leave with 2 belts that night. It's entirely possible.
Absolutely, they could.
So we know of 4 individuals who are already in the Battle Royal. So let's talk about the 4 we already know. We've got 2. Actually, if I'm thinking the third gentleman is an HVW original, one is a newcomer, and they're the 4 that are on the match card. So let's talk about the 4 men that are already in the Battle Royal without having to win any matches at Proving Ground. Let's talk about those 4 right now.
Well, that's going to be the Greek Wolverine, Crucifix.
Former HVW champion.
Yeah, and HVW original.
There you go.
You got the big man on campus, TJ Boss.
Big TJ.
And Big TJ, former HVW champion.
Mm-hmm.
TJ's been former HVW Southeastern champion. That was a title that we had back in the day.
Nice.
And then we got Let's see. Who else we got on there, Tom?
Well, of the four that we're talking about, you've got TJ, you've got Chris, you've also got Mr. Joshua Cutshaw.
Josh Cutshaw making his return to HVW. Excited about that. It's been a while since Mr. Cutshaw's been with us.
I like this guy a lot, man. I've seen him work for you before, wrestle for you before, and I like him a lot. I think he's improved so much over the past few years. And then number 4 on the card is a young man that came to us last year at Resurrected and won the opening match of Resurrected, which was a fatal 4-way. So TGA, the great Alexander Moss.
TGA Moss, the great Alexander Moss. This kid's exciting to watch, Tom.
Yes, he is. And speaking of Chris Fix, he and Chris had a very good match at First Strike last year. There's people still talking about that. I've watched that match a lot, man. It's a clinic. It's a clinic.
It was a clinic. And, both of those guys were on point, man. And it was, great match. Then there's a couple surprises coming out to be a part of the Battle Royal too, Tom. We got a great young man, Kay Holiday. He's going to be out to be a part of the Battle Royal.
Cool.
We got another young man making his debut, Big Alan Brody. He'll be making his debut in HVW in the Battle Royal, and you never know who else may show up.
That's right. And then, like I said, we've got a total of 4 individuals from the first 3 matches because 2 will be the tag team. So
right,
tag team plus 2 individuals from the other 2 matches. That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be awesome. And don't forget, Tom, when it's down to the last 2 guys, it's normal match rules apply.
That's right. Pinfall, submission.
Or over the top rope.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I got to be honest with you. We've not seen promos from 2 certain individuals that we just talked about. But my inbox has already been hit by Chris Fix, who's chomping at the bit. Chris is never shy. He's already got stuff to say, and basically he messaged me and said, when you want this promo? And I was like, whenever you're ready. And, man, he said some other stuff I can't repeat here. And dude, there's stuff simmering behind the scenes, so we'll see what happens. But, yeah, he's ready already. So let's circle back around, kids. The main event of Proving Ground, Hayden Ramsey versus Sadie Moss versus Caitlin Marie. The first ever HW Women's Championship. This match, had it just been Sadie and Hayden, would have been a main event for the ages after what they did at Resurrected last year. And but with the inclusion of Caitlin Marie, this is even more so, man. Talk about the history of this match.
Brother, when we relaunched last January, Resurrected.
That's it.
Yeah. Dude, these ladies, from the beginning of the show, Sadie comes out throwing cookies to the crowd. The next thing I know, Hayden's out there. The Laura Lockhart's getting blown. Oh, yeah, here we go. Dude.
We were just talking about it, so I'm ready for you.
Yeah. So let's just show them.
Hey, Facebook, try pulling this down. Huh? We own this, okay?
That's right.
Our handprints, our fingerprints are all over this one, so pull this down. Try. All right, kids, this is what Gary's talking about. This is from Resurrected last year. Sadie came out for an interview. Hayden had a little something to say. Check this out. Look at this. Look at that tray, dude. Did you see the tray?
Yes, dude. She slapped that thing up in her face. Look at here. Look.
Oh,
look. What, Big Alan? Look, look, Tom, I don't even think we had a match yet. Yeah, we had one match, and this was right after the first match.
Yeah.
It's already fired up. Did you see Hayden come around that corner? She wasn't playing.
This deserves a second look. Watch her power. Watch the tray. Bam!
Boom! Oh, dude. Look, Sadie didn't back down, though, did she?
Brother, I was sitting right there. I'm not going to lie when I tell you I scooted my chair up a little bit because,
hey, dude, and we're about to add Caitlin into the mix of all of this. What we thinking?
Crazy.
We're going to have 4 security guards that night.
That's good stuff. Yeah, crazy, man. That was that's just a little bit of the intensity that you people can expect come June 5 because and look, I guess I'm letting the cat out of the bag. Maybe this is not my place to say. Maybe this should have been Sadie or Hayden's place to talk about publicly. But I know for sure that when Hayden went out with her injury, that a certain individual made a phone call to her to check on her, and she might have been in that video. If that doesn't tell you the quality people that we're talking about Sadie Lee Moss, that she could have just said, Hayden got hurt, good. I'm glad she's hurt. She ain't like that. She reached out. And I think that meant a lot to Hayden. And it might have been one of the reasons why Hayden has come back around to the spot she's in right now.
Well, dude, she's the mother of wrestling. That's what, that's Sadie Lee Moss. That's what she does.
That's right. Good point.
And I'm going to tell you something, dude, just because Caitlin and Hayden's in the match, you can't overlook Sadie. I mean, she's a powerhouse.
Absolutely. I'm just reading comments here. Yeah. And dude, Kayla Marie is a beast. She is not to be taken lightly. She took a crowbar. When all else fails, get a crowbar. So she got one and took out Hayden and wanted to take over the division. Well, look, talk is cheap. You can buy a crowbar at any hardware store. But if you really want to take over the women's division, you got to win on June 5th. So now Caitlin has to beat not one, but two women, both of whom want to kill her. So
that's right.
How about that?
But hey, I ain't seen her back down from a challenge yet, though.
No, you're right. And Sadie and Hayden are going to have all they can handle out of Caitlin Marie. I promise you that.
Absolutely.
Mook said, watch all your valuable possessions around Alan Brody. Just saying. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the warning.
Mook may know something that we don't know. John Matthews giving TGA some love. TGA Moss is an elite performer. I agree with that for sure. Shane says, John, you can handle your business in the ring, but what I know of I Am Righteous, he will stick his nose into your business. Yeah, that's probably going to be a given for sure. Gary, let's show a couple of videos before we start wrapping this thing up here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Let us show the match card video. Now, folks, we've just talked about the matches at length, gave you a little preview, a little something to look at. But let's go ahead and show you the match cards so you can see them live and in living color, living purple. Okay, Purple Rain over here. That's what we're doing, baby.
That's right.
So let's show them the Purple Rain of Proving Ground. Kids, check out this video, man. It's a good one. Watch this. Boom. That's fun, huh?
Yes, sir. Looks like a card.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Again, kids, we read the matches off to you, talked about them in detail, but there you go. The music brings it to life. We're all about the presentation here in HVW. In case you don't know, now you know. Before we end this thing here tonight, Gary, let's go over this ticket information one more time. Kids, here's how it breaks down. We have 15 tables that seats 5 people per table, okay? Then we have 25 folding chairs for a total of 100 seats. We got 100 chairs. We need 100 butts, okay? So the benefit of getting a table with 5 chairs at the table is that you get a free large pizza and a free 2-liter on your table. That's a good deal. You don't have to buy concessions that night. That's a winner chicken dinner in my book. If there's just going to be one or two of you, just want to do a couple folding chairs, that's all good too. You're going to be feeding yourself, but you're more than welcome to do that. Restrictions, Gary, are still being enforced until we're told otherwise. Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Until we're told otherwise, it'll be 100% face mask. I mean, we got to, Tom. Until we're told different, we got to follow the rules of the venue.
Got to follow the rules of the venue, and also have to follow what the insurance company says. And kids, if you don't know about how pro wrestling works, we can't just show up and run an event just because we feel like it. There has to be insurance come into play, because if someone gets hurt, if someone randomly from kind of freak accident, we got to be able to pay for that. Someone's got to pay for that. Insurance comes into play. And if the insurance company says masks have to be worn, they're going to be worn. And there's not much we can do about that. So everybody can cry about it and blame politics. I don't really care. Do your part, kids. Come to the show. We want you there, but be safe and be responsible while you're there. That's all we're saying.
Exactly.
So before we get out of here, man, let's leave the good people out there with something to remember. Talk to them about coming to see the show on June 5th. What you got?
Well, you definitely want to see this show, because it's the beginning of many more to come. We're about to launch this thing. Last year Tom and I had an amazing year planned for the return of HVW, and COVID shut us down, and it wasn't COVID's plan. So now we're just gonna revamp this thing and do it again. So let's get started June 5th, and we see where it goes. But get your tickets while you can, because they're going.
Absolutely. Be sure you get there, kids. Eventbrite.com. You can go straight to that website, hit the search button, search High Velocity Wrestling, or you can go to our Facebook, our Twitter, or our Instagram. The links are all there. Or if you got to do it this way, tinyurl.com/HVWPGTIX. All right. That means HVW Proving Ground tickets. It's real simple, kids. We made it as easy as possible. Just go there. The site is extremely easy to use. You can see the type of seating that you want. You click on what you want in your card information. Eventbrite will protect your information. I don't know that I've ever seen an Eventbrite hacked. If it's happened, it's been years. I've never even heard about it. It's a very secure server. It's secure information. Kids, it's 2021. If you're not shopping online, I don't know how you're living these days. I mean,
that's right.
Your information will be safe. I promise you. The website's got plenty of controls in place to keep your card information safe. So if that's a concern, don't let it be a concern to you. You're not going to be able to get tickets at the door unless the state opens back up fully. If they do, we'll let you know. In the meantime, if you want to come see this show, and everybody that's commented, unless you're part of the crew or part of the talent, if you want to come see this show, you got to go make it happen, dude. Get them while you can, because they don't want to miss this, Gary.
No, they don't, because you never know what might happen.
That's right. And we're crowning our first HOW Women's Champion, crown the HOW Champion, crown the HOW Tag Team Champions. That's enough for me to pay $20. I'm going to be honest with you, for sure.
Absolutely. And John Matthews, I got you back, buddy.
There you go. All right, folks, let's get out of here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. Keep your eyes on our social media. We got plenty more stuff to come. We're going to be back next Tuesday, live and in living purple, as is always the case. I'm going to use that from now on. The purple rain's coming at you, baby. So
that's right. Let's do it.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Gary, as always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll be in touch, I know. Folks, have a good night. We'll see you next time. All right, stay tuned.